Hello, everybody. Welcome to Smartcat webinar series. My name is Kate, and I'm event marketing manager here at Smartcat. Let me welcome also our today's presenter, Jean-Luc. Hi, Jean-Luc.
Good morning.
Guys, please let us know if you can hear us well, if you can see the screen, because we started to share it. Just send a sign to the chat, which you see on the right side. Before we start, let me give you some organizational issues. First of all, I will disable this chat so it won't distract you during the presentation. You can see at the bottom ask a question section. Please, if you have any questions during the presentation, put them there. You can also vote for the questions you like, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. We also have some polls. If you can see it, if you can answer the questions we have there, it will be also very nice. I think that's it. Jenna, let's start.
Okay, thank you for the introduction, Kate. So in this presentation, I'm going to show you the steps that you need to take to set up your account when you first start with Smartcat. The idea here that it will ensure that you make optimal use of all our features, and you will see once you start using Smartcat, the value of setting up your account. In fact, this presentation is a summary of one of the onboarding sessions that I give when people start using our application. So that's the reason why we think it's very important. So, if you've joined this session, you probably already have some idea of what Smartcat is, and if you are using it, we're gonna do just a quick recap, and then then we'll proceed with the demo. So, but in a sense, we promote our concept of connected translation, where Smartcat is at the center of a continuous loop of content between end customers and localization providers. What we have is content that flows, seamlessly between the creators, between the publishers, and also between translators. Now, if one of the unique features of Smartcat is our marketplace, and we have over 250,000 registered users, and these users are located in 130 countries. In addition, now we also have a marketplace of companies. LSPs can register in this marketplace. So once you start to use Smartcat, you have access really to all the resources that you need for any of your projects, no matter what language or services or specialties that you require. So this can be really a boost to your growth as you need more resources. Now, one of the what you have actually, you can manage all your translation needs in just one application. It's really one of the advantages of Smartcat. Your linguistic assets, all your projects, all your employees, all your freelancers, all the LSPs that you've hired. Everybody is just grouped in one application. And also Smartcat provides automation for a lot of the repetitive tasks. So if you've been in this business for a while, you know that, for example, your project managers, they spend a lot of time creating projects, assigning tasks, communicating and collaborating with the freelancers. Smartcat takes away a lot of those repetitive tasks. It's really one of the advantages of the application. Now, the Smartcat editor also has a lot of features that you would expect to find in CAT tools. You have linked to translation memory and terminology database. And in this case, we even have like a unique morphological analysis, which is going to actually help you find terms, even if it's not an exact match. You also have access to a lot of latest machine translation engines. And we, of course, have some built-in QA features. And at the same time, we also have connectors to other QA tools, which gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to your quality control. And top of all, we have also a great multi-user and communication features. And those features will save you a lot of time, especially for you project managers, no matter the size of your project. Now, the best part of Smartcat, obviously, is that unlike many other tools on the market, we don't put limits on how many people that you can have in your account. So you don't have to really worry about counting licenses. You can invite all your employees, you can invite all your freelancers, and we don't put also limits on data or the number of words that you process in the application. So it's really a totally different concept that we promote at Smartcat. And finally, we take away also the hassle of making payments to all your freelancers. It doesn't matter where those freelancers are located. It doesn't matter what currency they use. Smartcat will offer them the cheapest payout methods. So what you will do is just make only one payment to Smartcat, and then we will take care of the rest and pay all your freelancers. We also added features so you can now receive payments from your customers, and you can use our payment network, to save on transaction fees, no matter where your customers are located. So really, this was a quick introduction of Smartcat, of all the features we have, and then you will see, in the demo that's coming, how they fit into place, in the in our concept of connected translation. So let's move on with the demo. I'm going to switch to our Smartcat account. So here you see the interface that when you first log in into Smartcat, you will see a lot of our workspace with all the projects. But before you get started, I think a lot of people, when they jump into Smartcat, the first thing they want to do is create a project. But in fact, what we insist on is that you take the time to set up your account at the beginning, before you even have your first experience with Smartcat. And the idea is really is that once you go through this setup, then it would prepare you to actually increase your productivity and probably even save some money as you use Smartcat. So the first thing that you will do once you connect into your account for the first time, you set up your corporate profile. So if you see here on the left under the settings menu, I have a corporate profile menu. And then this page has a lot of different sections, and these sections will be have multiple usage. The first one is that it's gonna, if you decide to participate on the transition company marketplace, this is gonna be your window for the rest of the world. This is how the other companies will find out more information about yourself. Now you can see at the top, this is what you will be showing, and then each of these sections has a little pencil icon at the top that you can use to edit the information. So at the top, you can, for example, upload your logo, you put the name of your company, and you can just put like a couple of paragraphs about yourself under it that will be shown to people when they first consult, your profile on the marketplace. You can change the color of the background. And here, this is the switch that will let you choose if you're going to be displaying this information on our vendor marketplace or not. It's entirely up to you. You can just keep your information private if you want to. But if you want to be exposed to other potential customers, then you would just simply flick the switch right here, and then your information will be visible to the rest of the world. Now, you can also add more information about yourself, like in this section here. You can mention, where you're located, the date that your company was started, and some information is going to be updated automatically. You can see here, for example, it's going to show if you're online with Smartcat right now or the last time you were online. And then we also show some information at the bottom about the services that you provide, and it's going to be filled in automatically as you add more information to your profile. Now, if you're going to be listing your services on the marketplace, one section that's going to be useful is this section about review and success story. By adding more information in here, for example, the name of the companies that you work for, you can put their logos, the company name, you can put a description of the company, and also then the comments that they've made about the services that you provide. And you can even upload your own testimonial for these contacts, and you can add more than one. You can add multiple of them, and this is gonna be basically the base of reference for potential customers. So it's important, if you have any references, to add this information. Now, the next section is going to be important as well, because you're going to be mentioning the services that you provide. And this section has multiple usage. It's going to be showing, obviously, the services that you provide if you are on the vendor marketplace. So if you advertise your services in the marketplace, then you want people to know which language pairs, for example, you can service, and the different workflow that also are associated with these language pairs. And you can also display your prices if you decide that you want to do that. Now, if you're also going to use our customer portal, which I recommend that you do, because it's going to give you more exposure on your website. And it's going to also let you automate part of the process, having your customers drop in files that need to be translated, and then create projects automatically in Smartcat. And if you're going to be using this portal, you will also need to add these services. And there, you can simply add all the languages the language pairs that you provide, and add some information about the services associated with these languages. So, for example, here I'm showing you a language pair like English into German, and you can see that for English into German, we have multiple services we provide. There's one called urgent translation. We have one called expert translation. And for each of those different services, you can specify the stages that are associated with these services, and then the prices. And then you just repeat for each of these language pairs, and it's going to give you, a presentation like such as this one. When you can see German, we have urgent translation, and don't look at the prices. This is just a demo account. Those are not recommended prices by Smartcat at all. And you can put a description and also the steps that are associated with it. And Smartcat will use this information to create estimates when your customers use the portal, and then your customers will see all the languages that you provide on this portal, and then they will also be able to get a price estimate once we get the statistics for the document that they submit for translation. So that's the reason why this area of your profile is very important. Now, the final area for information is your contact, and then you can put like your website, a phone number where your company can be reached, and also an email address. And you can also have multiple contacts. So this is going to be important if you list your services on the LSP marketplace as well, so that people can contact you if they want to get your services. So once you've added the information about your company, the next step is you want to add information about your clients inside of Smartcat. And the reason for that is it's not simply because you just want to have the list of your customers there, with contact information, but also because this information is going to be used to label your linguistic assets and your project. And this is very important because it's going to help you organize your data, and is also going to help you during project creation. I will not demonstrate that today, but trust me, organizing your data at the beginning is going to save you a lot of time. It's going to make you project managers a lot more productive. So in this section, you will simply add clients. So click on the add client name right here, and just put the name of your customer. You can put the country where they're located. All this information is optional. The most important information of them all is just to add the name of your customer, because it's going to be the label that's going to help you organize your data. But you can put additional information like the country they're located, You can put if they are using, for example, VAT, depending on the country where you're located. And we finally have some settings here about discount mechanism for transition memory matches. So you can create a template, for each customer to allow you to discount, for example, for fuzzy matches that come from the transition memory when estimates are generated. So this is something that you can do separately. And then for each customer, you can assign a different uh, uh, discount mechanism. So it gives you a lot more flexibility when it comes to pricing. Now, for each customer, you can also add contacts, and you can just go in here, just like, put the name of the person, their position, their email address and phone numbers, and you can also tag which one is their primary contact. This is going to be important for you project managers, because then they're going to have access to all the contact information in one location. They don't need to switch between different applications to find that information. So I was telling you also that you can add different templates for fuzzy match discount mechanism, and this is where it's done on the net rates. And you can see we have multiple of them right here. You can add others, and you can specify, the discounts that you give for different types of fuzzy matches. Once again, don't look at the ones from this presentation. This is really a demo account, so we just play with those rates for demonstrations. But you can create your own discount mechanism for every single client, and then just associate them with the clients as needed. So now you can see also that we have two different types of clients listed here, one with the little infinite loop symbol and one with the little factory symbol right here. The one with the infinite loops are customers that are actually registering on your portal, and they will show onto this list with the different symbols, so that you know where those customers are coming from. So once you've created those customers, there's also another label that you can add to your account, and this is called project groups. And project groups is just simply what it is. It's a label. It doesn't have any other function inside the application. It also allows you to tag and to organize your data. And you can see, for example, the type of labels that you can create. For example, one here is called legal. And the idea is that we have some, for example, some customers, you're working with different law firms. You might have 10, 15, 20 different law firms you work with. Instead of creating a linguistic assets like transition memories or glossary for every single one of those clients, you can just put them all onto one label, create one transition memory or one glossary, and use this project group label to tag those linguistic assets. And then once again, that's going to help you when you create projects, because you'll be able to refer to those assets as you finish the project creation. So those client management and the client label and project group labels are really used in our next section, which is when you're gonna create your linguistic assets. So if I go under resources in my left menu again, this is where you can access your glossaries and transition memories. So under glossaries, I'm going to have all the glossaries associated with the account, and you can see there's a lot of them here. Once again, this is a demo account, so account executives, when they make demo, they might just create a new glossary, so you will have access to all your glossaries, and you will start, my advice is to start creating glossaries for all your existing customers. As you finish adding those clients into the account, the next step will be then to start associating linguistic assets with them, so you would just create a new glossary, put, the glossary name here. You can just add, the name of your customer, whichever it is, and add all the languages for this customer. You can just go ahead and add as many languages as you want. There are no limits in the number of languages in the glossary in Smartcat. So you just give the glossary a name, add the languages, and then very important, this is where you would actually, associate the glossary with a customer. This is what it's going to tell Smartcat, that this new glossary is going to be part of any projects for this client. And then you can choose a client label or a project group label, so that when I was telling you, like, legal, so you can mix and match, have client and project group, or simple project group. It's entirely up to you, but it's really important that you tag those new assets, so that when you create project, when you manage all your resources, which one is associated with what. Now, our glossaries, by the way, are not just like simple list of terms. So, for example, if I were to show you a quick glossary here, you can see that you have some terms in here, but glossaries have a lot more information that you can store. You can add more fields. You can see here we have, like, comments, examples, and also at the term level you can add grammatical information like part of speech, gender, and things of that nature. But then there's one field that's extremely important, is status. And status will actually allow you to tag terms if they are obsolete or if they are recommended. And for example, here you can see that we have a term that's not recommended and a term that's preferred. And you can change that term to, for example, obsolete, and this will generate a QA error in the editor. So once again, our terminology database is quite complex, so it's really something that's not just like a term list, it's really an entire terminology database. Once you've created your glossary, you will also create your transition memory. And once again, I would recommend you do the same thing. You just go ahead and create a transition memory and create one for each customer. So once again, I would go back to my existing customer, and I would say, okay, I need to create a database for this customer. Select your source language, select all your target languages, and you can have as many target languages as you want. Smartcat does support multilingual transition memory databases. So for each customer, you don't need to have one transition memory for each language pair. You can have only one transition memory, no matter how many languages you have that relates to the source language. You would need to have a second transition memory if your customer is starting translation with a different source language, but otherwise you would just need one transition memory for each customer. So once you've chosen your source language, once you've chosen your target languages, then you will do the same thing again, which is to tag, this transition memory to a specific client or a specific project group, or both. It depends. It doesn't matter to us. You can use both labels or just one label, but it's really, once again, very important that you tag your resources with those labels when you start. The other fields are optional. We also store context information into the translation memory to allow us to create context matches, which are important. This is what's going to save your customer money and reduce the amount of work that is needed. So once you've created all your transition memories and your glossaries, and you've tagged them with your customer's name or the project group, you pretty much are set up to start creating projects. Now, there's one more step that you will need to take before you can start working, is to add people to your account. So I will go on the team page this time, which is going to be a separate page. And then you can see you have multiple tabs. The first tab is called My Team. And those are the people that are going to be associated with your account. You have multiple ways of bringing people into My Team. The first one is by clicking on Invite to My Team at the top here, and then specifying an email. So I'm going to just add an email address right here. And then once the email address is added, you can then add your employee or your freelancers, their first name, their last name, and then give them a specific access level. So if it's a freelancer, you want them to work on your project, you would give them the access level of linguist, but then you can choose administrator, project manager, resource manager, and even some custom created access levels. But we don't go over this in this presentation. The most important ones obviously are at the top: administrator, linguist, project manager, resource manager. So you can give each of your account member a different access level. You click on invite, and then the employee or the freelancer is going to receive an invitation, and they're going to be showed in this in this my team section, and then once you add people into my team, then what you will do is just go ahead and edit their profile, add information about these people. So here, for example, I have like Leona in this profile. I can click on view profile, and here what I can do is add information about this person. I can add notes, for example, like, this person does a good job, or she has a tendency to be late returning projects, or whichever, so it doesn't matter. And you can also add the client that this person has worked for in the past. And this is important once again because this is going to also help Smartcat automate the task assignment process. So here you can just go ahead and say, okay, this person has worked for this client, and you can have multiple clients, it doesn't matter. So once you've selected that, you click on save, and then this freelancer will be associated with these clients. So when you are looking for freelancers to assign to a project for these clients, these freelancers will be contacted first. And then you would just add the services that these freelancers provide. So here you could say, for example, they provide translation services from one language to the other. It doesn't matter which languages. For example, here we're going to say, English, and you can specify a dialect at the time, and then also French. And they provide translation for example, for a certain rate, like for example, 8 cents per word. That's the price for this one. And they can also provide editing for like 3 cents per word. I mean, those prices are at the moment meaningless, and then proofreading and post editing would be an option. You can also add subject matter. What is their main subject matter? So, and then once you do that, click on save, and these services will be shown in the profile. And this is also going to be used by Smartcat during the assignment process. Now, these prices that you add here will be used to calculate also the cost of projects. If you assign this person to a project, we will use this information to calculate the cost of the task. And it's going to, if you have multiple tasks, multiple people, then you're going to have a general cost of a project, and you can use that to calculate your profit margins on this project. You can also add then more information about this person, their email address, phone number, Skype, or whatever, like, name the information that you want to add. So this is how you're going to be adding translators and adding their information. Now you can also add translators to my team if you find them on our marketplace. So on our marketplace, you can see here I'm looking for translators that provide English into Spanish, and we have, as I mentioned at the beginning, 250,000 translators in the marketplace. But for example, you decide that you want to work with Angelica here, you can click on view profile. You look at her profile, the services that you provide, some the personal detail that she has, and then when you decide that you want to work with her and you want to make it more practical for you to assign tasks to her, you can simply click on save to my team. And then Helica is going to become part of your team. And once you do that, you can see that you can add notes to her profile, which are not visible in her marketplace profile. And you can also add the clients that she works for. And then finally, the one thing you can do once you add a freelancer to my team is you can negotiate rate with them. So I would, for example, send a message to Angelica and tell her, look, we have a lot of work that's coming up. Would you accept to work for less than 12 cents per word? And she might just say yes. And if she says yes, then you can just go ahead and edit the price and then go in and show which prices you've accepted. She's accepted to work for your project, and then click on save. And then from now on, the cost of the translation is not going to be based on those 12 cents per word, but it's going to be based on this 10 cents per word. But this is only visible to you, not to the rest of the marketplace. This is like if I were to switch to her marketplace profile, you see it's 12 cents again. So this allows you to add quickly some freelancers into your team. You don't have to add their services. You don't have to add information about themselves, and then you just add them to your my team, and then you can assign tasks to them very quickly once you've created projects. And you can also, once again, as I showed you, negotiate prices with these freelancers. So this is how you would add people into your team. You could also add not only just freelancers, but you can also add vendors. So you could add companies to your profile. If you, for example, subcontract some tasks to LSPs, not freelancers, we give you that possibility as well. And you can simply just find a vendor in our marketplace and add them to your team, and you will also then be able to assign them tasks. So the final, if you're going to be using our payment system, the final step in your project, in your account creation, is going to be to add some settings about your payments. So here, under payment settings in the payment tab, you will add information about yourself. And this is important because this is what translators will see when they receive a task from you. So just add information about your company here, then where you're located, and you can add some comments here. And this is going to give some confidence, to the freelancers when they receive a project from you, because they will have some information about yourself. And then click on save. But the final information that the freelancers will want is your payment terms. And you can just go ahead and just go here on the payment terms and click on the little pencil. And you can see here that you can choose, for example, when the payment is going to be made. For example, you can choose to pay, freelancers 10 days after the project is completed. You can add some information about dispute resolution right here and click on save. And you can see here that now when a translator accepts a job from you in Smartcat, they will know when they're going to get paid. In this case, it'll be 10 days after the whole project is accepted, they will receive payments from you. And we use this information to calculate payment deadlines in your account, so that you are reminded, when payments are due. And you can also, in this tab, choose a different discount mechanism for paying your freelancers. How you're going to pay for different matches from the translation memory, and you can choose a different settings for each of the steps that's performed in Smartcat. Translation, editing, proofreading, or post editing. So this is pretty much all the settings that you will need to set when you start working with Smartcat. And once again, this is very important. It's not visible right now as I'm making this presentation, but once you start creating projects, all that information will come together. You will have your linguistic assets assigned automatically to projects when you create them, if you tag them with your customers. You will also have a list of freelancers or companies that you can assign to different tasks. That's going to be also displayed automatically. You'll be able to assign tasks even without doing anything, just clicking on one button and assign tasks to freelancers directly. So limiting the amount of work you project managers need to do. So it's really, once again, very, very important that you take the time to set up your account at the beginning. So this is it for the demo part. So the next thing is what we can do is just if you have any questions, we can take some questions now from participants.
Yes, thank you, Jean-Luc. Actually, we have already run out of time, but if you have any questions, we are ready to answer. You can either ask them in the chat or in the Ask a Question section. Let me also show you this button. In case you want to have more detailed demo on the marketplace, on other benefits Smartcat has, simply request a demo, schedule it, and you'll have a one-to-one session with our sales team. Okay, any questions? I don't see any. This only means that everything was very clear. Thank you, Jean-Luc, once again.
Okay.
So then let's finish. We'll share this recording with you tomorrow, because I see that some of you experience problems with the sound. You can either actually see the recording right after this session. It will be available here on Crowdcast. And we will send you the link to our YouTube channel tomorrow in the follow-up letter. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you, Jean-Luc. Thanks everybody for your time. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Kate. Have a good day.
Thank you.